Hi everybody, this is Saad for the Sad Truth. Several folks asked that I post some remarks following yesterday's two events in the Canadian Parliament. For those of you who don't know, I appeared in front of the Canadian Senate to discuss Bill C-16, and then later that evening I was invited to deliver a lecture to parliamentarians, whether it be ministers and or senators and staffers. I will be posting the lecture probably tomorrow, but I've thus far posted my opening remarks and also the full session. It was a pleasure meeting the other witness during the session, Theron Mayer. Was a truly lovely person and who I think did a wonderful job. And I've been very, very pleased to see all of the incredibly positive comments that folks have been posting. I've not only read the comments, on Twitter and on my public Facebook page and on, all over the place, but I've also been receiving a lot of, private messages, and also subsequent to yesterday's testimony, I had the chance to spend some time with Senator Plett and other politicians who, wanted to interact with me. And of course, I won't share all of the stuff that they said, but I can tell you that many people were rather displeased with the reaction of some of the senators during the session. I think you'll agree that I showed a lot of restraint. The reality is that the best way to defeat these folks is to present your ideas, and then the rest is on record, so people can see the manner in which they behave. Now, some of you may have not actually seen some of the intricacies of their behaviors, so the eye rolling, the huffing, the puffing, the speaking to each other loudly and laughing. I mean, it was literally embarrassing. And again, some very powerful politicians remarked on these issues. What's incredible is that despite the fact that 99.999% of people who watched the exchanges, and certainly my opening remarks and the subsequent exchanges, came to the same set of conclusions, the very positive and supportive conclusions, there is a very small number of haters who somehow think that I've been laughed out of town. I mean, it's really quite extraordinary. You just have to see the relevant metrics on social media, and it's just breathtaking that someone could arrive to such a conclusion. One person was even shocked that I would post the testimony on my channel, since, it is so embarrassing to me. Yeah. Way to go, ostrich. But in any case, my point, I mean, I think it's pretty clear, so I don't need to sort of reiterate it, was not to get into the legalities of the bill, which I think a epistemological humility is knowing what you know and what you don't know. So I wasn't going to come there pretending that I knew about all the intricacies of the jurisdiction of this bill versus that bill. That didn't interest me. And a few idiots said, "Oh, geez, you were unprepared to speak about the legality." Well, that's not what I came there for, right? That wasn't the purpose of why I was chosen to testify as part of that conversation. Now, prior to my testimony, actually, someone who is very knowledgeable about the process warned me that that's exactly what some of these buffoons would do, which is take me to a place where they thought I would be ill-equipped to talk about, to hopefully try to unbalance me, to talk about legal issues, knowing that that's precisely what I'd probably be not interested in talking about. And that's exactly what they tried to do. But generally speaking, I don't need to point to each particular Einstein who, tried to act in a childish manner, but the record is there, the videos are there, the exchanges are there, the transcripts are there. History will decide who was on the right side and who acted magnanimously and graciously and who didn't. It's truly a wonderful experience to actually do this. I mean, it's it's an honor to be part of such a dialogue, to be asked to participate in such a dialogue. Of course, the settings are so austere and they're so filled with history. When I went to Senator Plett's office, that's the place where I actually delivered the lecture. He was explaining that this was one of the chambers of Sir John A. Macdonald. For those of you who don't know who that gentleman is, he's a central historical figure in Canadian history. And then, he pointed to, this was his whiskey cabinet, and this was his, his stable, and so on. So it's truly a wonderful thing to have actually been a part of. I guess we'll see now what happens. I mean, I don't think I'm not under any illusion that our testimony is going to really alter the trajectory of the bill. I think that my feeling is that it'll probably ultimately pass, but it was still, I think, important that we provide our input into the process, and then we'll see what happens. So there you have it, folks. As I said, I will be posting tomorrow the lecture, and please make sure to continue to share these clips. It's important that people are at the very least aware of some of these issues, and thank you for your support. Well, I should just mention that one or two people said, oh, you seemed a bit nervous at the start of your opening remarks. It's not at all that I was nervous. I was actually very, very concerned. If there was any hint of nervousness, it's because I had been specifically, repeatedly told that it was forbidden to go over 5 minutes. And so I had a whole set of things that I obviously had to get through. And you can't get through this stuff unless, first of all, you read from prepared notes. Some idiot said, oh, well, you should look up at your audience and engage them. Oh, gee, this was my first time actually engaging in public speaking. So thank you, Einstein, for explaining to me how to engage an audience. The reality is that the reason why you have prepared notes in such an environment is because you are given an extraordinarily short amount of time to deliver your message. And if some of you noticed, at one point, the chair of the committee asked me to slow down because they actually have to do the translations. And so that's really that's why my mouth was dry. That's why because I was very, very concerned about the cadence with which I would deliver the message, so that, I wouldn't have 4 sentences left and then he would cut me off because somehow I would have passed the 5-minute mark. So there you have it. That's, I guess, a behind the scene part of the process that you might not have been aware of. There were also a lot of people who were, just in the audience, who were sort of the ostentatious social justice warriors who were rolling their eyes, who were playing on their phones and so on. So there definitely was, in various ways, a shocking lack of decorum. But there you have it. So I was very, very honored and proud to have been part of the process. And again, I truly, truly thank you for all of your wonderful words of support. And as I often end these comments, march on, soldiers of reason. We will win the battle of ideas. It might be painful. It might take a while, but truth is on our side. We shall prevail. Talk to you soon. Cheers.